What I've learned is that if you pray for something and you live in hopeful expectation and you put yourself out there, so it's not like you're just sitting around, you have to like put yourself out there, not just once, but again and again and again. Be ready for rejection, but also be ready for the blessings that are going to come from that. Hey, what's up, you guys, and welcome back to Model Behavior. It's Macy. Oh my gosh, I've missed you so much. The month of December has been so busy for me. I've been hosting a lot of people. Like my mom was here, I've had other friends over, and then obviously Christmas just happened. So like Merry Christmas. I hope you guys had an amazing Christmas. Yeah, like things have just been really busy in the month of December. Also, it was my birthday, okay? I turned 31. I know. So it's just been a crazy month, but I really wanted to record because I've just like missed talking to you guys so much. And throughout the last month, I keep thinking of like so many things that I want to talk to you guys about, but my guest room has been preoccupied. You guys know that I record in my guest room and I also use it, as my guest room. It's like my multi-purpose space. So yeah, it's been pretty occupied for like most of December. So I just haven't been able to record. Also, if you're watching on video, you'll notice that it's pretty dark right now. When I first started this podcast back last winter, I would really try hard to only record when it was light outside because it just is a better vibe. It's better lighting, all of those things. But now that I've been doing Legree instructing, I literally go to work in the mornings. It's basically still dark. I work all day and then I work out in the mornings. Then I go to work and then I go straight from work to the studio and I usually teach a couple classes, and by the time all of that happens it is pitch black outside, and I'm just like acknowledging that I'm gonna have to record when it's dark outside because it's like the only time I have to record. It's like a little after 9 p.m. right now and I'm exhausted. I just got home from teaching 3 classes. I was covering a class for a girl who was out of town. But anyways, I'm exhausted, but I have a glass of Savi B with ice, and so I am doing well. Anyways, also today was kind of like my content day, and so I was meaning to record this episode earlier. I had some work, obviously, but I also was like, okay, I have a good day. I have a break between meetings to where I can record my content. I had a couple brand deals that I needed to film that have a deadline coming up. And I honestly, since I've been working from home, I have not done my hair and makeup in a minute. So I was like, okay, I'm going to do my hair and makeup today. I am going to record an episode of the pod. I'm going to record all of my content. I'm going to get all of the takes that I need just in case the client wants like more footage or something. And the brand deals honestly took me so long, you guys. I'm really excited about this one. This is like my second ever like actual paid partnership. And so I'm really happy about it. I was also really proud of myself because the client came forward with a number. They found me, I think, on Instagram. And so they emailed me asking if I would do this campaign with them. And so I sent them my rates. They offered me a number and then I negotiated. And I'm so proud of myself because it's always hard with negotiating. Like you don't want to like ask for too much to where they're like, ugh, go away. And also I'm acknowledging that I'm like early on in this content creation process. But what I will say is I am really good at making reels and I'm really good at doing voiceovers. And so I am trying to acknowledge my skill in that way. I had the idea to host a Christmas party, first of all, because I have a nice place and I live by myself. So I'm like, I always want to have friends over. But I live in Fort Collins and a lot of my friends live down in Denver. So I'm like, they probably wouldn't come. But within the last few months, I've actually been making a lot of friends that live in Fort Collins, which is super fun, either through like social media or through events. And I feel so tickled and warm. Like my heart feels so warm. I'm like, oh, that's amazing. So anyways, I hosted Margot's, you guys know I hosted Margot's bachelorette party back in September. And honestly, you guys, I had a lot of liquor left over from that batch. All of Margot's friends are like health conscious doctors and dentists, hopefully me included. But yeah, so we actually didn't drink as much as I thought we were going to. So I had a lot left over. So I was like, girl, I should throw a party. Like, I'm not going to drink this. So I'm really proud of this party. Basically, I called it an Emily party because my friend Emily, I've talked about her on here before, but she is an event planner. And last year she threw me the sweetest birthday dinner. And she did such a good job and like her attention to detail was just amazing. So I kind of copied a few of her little tricks and I feel like it turned out really well. I had themed cocktails. I had food. I made little like charms to attach to everybody's drinks so they knew like whose drink was whose, and they were Christmas themed. So they had their initials and like a little Christmas charm, and it was so cute. And then I had a gingerbread cookie decorating station. So fun. And then also my friends Jess and Avery were over, and Megan was here too. But Jess and Avery work for the Eagles, which is the AHL hockey team in town. And so there was a game that night. So we streamed the game. So like we were watching hockey. I also had a brand deal with Exploding Kittens, which if you're not aware of what Exploding Kittens is, it's like a super, super fun board game. Actually, it's a card game. And then they just came out with a board game. And so I got to work with them to promote their board game. And it was like a dream collab for me. I don't think you guys understand. Like Exploding Kittens is one of the funnest card games ever. If you know, you know. Like, it is such a fun card game, and that's all I'm going to say about it. I literally used to play it with my friends in college for hours and hours and hours, and so to get to work with them was so fun. Anyways, that was a good time. Work, my real job, I call it my real job. Work has been really good as well. I'm in the finishing stages of getting a publication submitted for publication. This is a huge paper that I've been working on for a really long time. If you guys listen to the pod, you know I've talked about it a lot. But right now I'm just revising some figures. I'm getting all of my writing together. I am like super, super proud of how this project has morphed. I really feel like my writing has improved so much. And just like the concept of the paper has changed a lot in a really good way. Like I really feel like it's a super strong paper, and it has like a really strong theoretical scientific foundation, if that makes sense. I'll tell you guys more about it once it gets approved. Like I know it's going to get published somewhere. I feel really, really confident in it, God willing, that it gets published somewhere, but I think it will. Like I think it's a really good paper. So yeah, I'll tell you guys about it once it gets accepted for publication, because people scoop other people's research a lot. And I know that there's other people that are studying the same thing as me. And I know that sounds stupid because you're like, nobody listens to the podcast. Definitely not any other scientist, but you never know, girl. You never know. Along those same lines, though, well, yes, I told you guys last episode that Model Behavior did win an Instant Hit of 2025 award from Spotify. I think I called it the wrong thing, but it was a Spotify Instant Hit show for 2025, which is kind of a big deal. And I was like so excited about it. So thank you guys for listening. I also acknowledge that like the people that I'm like worried about listening to certain aspects, even if I don't talk poorly about them, they're probably not going to hear it. So anyways, you guys remember, what did we call him? Sleeves. Remember, if you listen to my Hot Girl Mission episode, I told this story about how we ran into these guys that play for a local pro sports team. It's hockey, but you already knew that. And there's a guy that like I really like on the team. I'm like really rooting for him, and he signed a contract, and we ran into them at one of our favorite bars here. And so we bought him an anonymous shot, and it was just like so silly and fun. And then he sent shots back, and it was just a fun time. I ran into him recently again, and I got to tell him, thank you for the car bomb, Sleeves. And he blushed. Anyways, that is that. Just so you know, I'm saying that now, but yeah, that's the update on the sleeves thing. So one of my friends, as a joke, got a Christmas present for me. And this is kind of like embarrassing to talk about, but again, I'm working on being less concerned about the way that I'm perceived. Like I want to articulate myself well. I want to speak positively on the internet. I want to put good things out there, but I don't want to worry as much about like filtering what I'm saying, because like I think that it has been limiting me in recent times. You guys know that, and initially in the initial stages of this podcast, I was telling stories that happened like a year, 2 years ago, so I felt more comfortable like talking about the details. But nowadays, my new stories are relatively fresh, and I don't have a lot of other backstories. I mean, I have other stories I can tell, but I don't want to bring them up unless they're directly applicable to like some life lesson I learned or something like that. You know, I don't want to just be telling stories for the sake of telling stories, although you guys know I love to talk. But anyways, I got a fantastic Christmas present this year. This was one of my favorite Christmas presents. This is my Christmas haul, okay? Should I go get it? Hold on. I'm going to go get it. One sec. Yeah, I'm going to go get it. 1 second. Okay, if you're watching on video, are you guys ready? I have it. Backstory is that one of my friends grabbed this for me. It was going in the trash anyways because it's broken, but I'm gonna make sure that there's no identifying information on this stick. I have here the one and only 24 karat Labubu. Just kidding. It's a hockey stick. I have a hockey stick. It's not just any hockey stick. It's Sleeves' hockey stick. One of my friends got it for me as a joke. Basically, he broke it during practice and it was going in the trash, and she grabbed it, taped it back together for me, and then surprised me with it at one of the games. It was, I'm not joking, you guys. This is one of the best presents I've ever gotten. Not because it's Sleeves' hockey stick, okay? Don't be weird. It's my favorite because my friend went through the effort of grabbing this stick, hiding it for me, taping it back together, and then she brought it into the press box during the game, and not, I guess, before the game. You know, she risked criticism from her coworkers to hide this stick for me. And so then I came up to the press booth after the game and she pulled it out, and I was like, this is one of the most thoughtful things that someone's ever done for me. I mean, there's a lot of thoughtful things that my friends have done for me. Like, I love them to pieces, but I'm not joking, you guys. Like, this hockey stick, it's what it symbolizes. Okay. So yeah, I have Sleeves' hockey stick. At first I was like, oh, I shouldn't say this because I'm worried he'll see it. He's not going to see this. Okay. So don't even worry about it. He's like not even on social media like that. So anyways, I just had to show you other Christmas haul items. My mom got me like a good cooking game for my PS4. So I'm really excited about that because I have some games from my brothers. It's my brother's old PS4. I bought it from him when they got their PS5. And my one brother gave me a few games to go with it. But the only one I like playing is Need for Speed because like I thought I was going to like playing Red Dead. I thought I was like going to like playing Black Ops. Those games are so stressful. Okay. Like I startle extremely easily. And so like these games were just a lot. Like I loved in Red Dead, I love going hunting. I love hunting the legendary animals, but I hate having to like attack rival gangs. I hate when the rival gangs attack me. It's the worst. And so I just haven't played my PS4 in a really long time, but I got Overcooked 2 and I'm going to like build my restaurant empire and I'm so excited about it. So it's going to be a fun wintertime activity. What else did I get? My brother got me this really cool sweatshirt. He got it from the Real, which I'm like, he knows ball, okay? Someone definitely cooked there, but my brother knows ball. He has a really good sense of style as well. So he got me this really sick sweatshirt from Fear of God Essentials. And I've already worn it a few times. Not a few times, a couple of times. Let's not be dramatic. Christmas was like 3 days ago. And I love it. My sister got me my favorite lip stuff from Ole Henriksen. And then what else did she get me? She got me a candle, which I asked for. And it is such a good smelling candle. So I love it. And then my other brother got me a hot mug like a Yeti that I can take to work, which I was like, this is nice. He's so cute. He had it personalized with like, if found, call, and then my phone number. And I said, thank you. And then he said, well, you know, like that way if a guy finds it or you want to give him your number. I was like, that's so sweet of him. I don't know. Oh, and then my dad got me a new crock pot. It's a mini crock pot, but mine broke last year. And so I was just like, anytime someone gets me like kitchen items, oh my gosh, I love it. I got a food processor last year for Christmas and I have used it so much. That is literally like one of my favorite presents I've ever gotten. Other than that hockey stick, girl. That hockey stick is good. So, segueing, I'm keeping that hockey stick in my living room for now. I don't really have space for it. I don't really want to keep it in here, but it's in my living room, like next to where my skis are. It's kind of hard to explain. It's in this little corner, but it's behind my TV. So I was looking at this hockey stick the other day, and I was like, I don't know if you guys have watched Heated Rivalry. I'm going to talk about Heated Rivalry, okay? So, okay, if you guys are not aware, Heated Rivalry is like a hockey romance TV show. So basically there's these two guys that are like the star players on their respective teams, and then they like secretly start hooking up and then they fall in love. It's this whole thing. I started watching it because of the hype that I've been seeing on social media on the Empty Netters podcast. Those guys who normally talk about hockey, they've been doing episode by episode debriefs of Heated Rivalry. There's 6 episodes. I binged 5 out of the 6 of them yesterday. Anyways, those episode debriefs are so funny. I was like, I have to watch this show. So yes, is it a little bit, much at times? Yes, but it was not as much as I thought it was going to be. I thought it was like actually pretty tasteful. And then also, I was not expecting to be moved to tears. I was literally weeping yesterday because there's these 2 characters in the show. One of them's like a hockey player. So other than the 2 main characters, it's like a side story. There's a hockey player and then a guy that he meets working at a smoothie shop. So the smoothie shop guy, Literally, I became so attached to him because he was just like the sweetest character. He was so thoughtful. He was so patient with Mr. Hockey. Mr. Hockey was trying his best, but basically he wasn't out of the closet. So he like didn't want to like go public with their relationship. They end up breaking up. Broke my heart. I literally was bawling looking at the TV. And then at the end of the episode, well, I think maybe it's like the next episode, the hockey player like comes out publicly after winning the Stanley, I mean the what is it? The MLH Cup, for legal purposes. He comes out publicly and like declares his love for this guy. And I literally sobbed. I sobbed. Oh my gosh, you guys, I'm going to start crying about it. And then I know they're not real, okay? I know it's a fake story. I know it's made up. I just get like really emotionally attached to characters and shows sometimes. So anyways, I was not expecting it to be so deeply moving. So yes, are there some spicy scenes? Yes, but you don't see anything and it is not that graphic, okay? Like, so just know it's not as bad as you would think from watching clips on TikTok, but also like, oh my gosh, it's so deeply moving. But the guys on the Empty Netters podcast are so funny. In one of their episode recaps, they were talking about how all of the guys in this show are like super ripped, which I'm like, as they should be. And so one of the guys referred to watching certain scenes with these guys in it as watching two pieces of flint rubbed together. And then he was like, they better be careful. They're going to burn the building down, start a fire. I thought that was so funny. But it's like, yeah, all these guys are super ripped. But yeah, I was not expecting to like it as much as I did. And I wasn't even going to watch it. But yeah, honestly, Empty Netters really sold me on it. So yeah, watch at your own risk, though. Anyways, today I want to talk a little bit about my birthday because I had an amazing birthday this year. Like genuinely, my birthday, it was on December 16th. So like a week and a half ago now. But it was genuinely one of the best birthdays I've ever had. I wasn't going to do anything. And then my friend Delaney was like, you should do something. So I decided to just like invite a bunch of my friends casually to like come get drinks at one of my favorite places in Fort Collins. And like they don't take reservations, so I was just gonna walk up. And I invited a lot of my friends, but I was expecting maybe only like a few to show up, and I'll tell you why. But so many of them showed up. Literally, we had a table with 10 of us. And I felt so loved, you guys. I felt so grateful for my friends. I felt so loved. Just all of them being there made me feel so good. I had friends drive up from Denver, which meant a lot. My friend Ayana was literally in the middle of her finals for vet, because she's in vet school. And like those finals are no joke. She literally took time off from her finals to come to my birthday get together, which I told her 3 times. I was like, you do not need to come. It is very casual. And she still showed up. And my friend Emily, she couldn't come, but she sent a gift up with my friend Delaney from Denver. Like, I'm not even kidding you guys. I felt so special and so loved. And it was a big change from my birthday last year, which I never usually do anything for my birthday because especially when I was in college, it's like always during finals week. So I never really got to do anything. Like my 21st, I never got to do anything just because like I, as well as everybody else in my class, was just like studying super hard. All of my other friends were studying super hard for finals. So I never got to do anything. So then when I moved here, especially last year, I was turning 30. And so I told a few of my friends, like, I really want to have like a birthday dinner because I've never had a birthday dinner before. So I want to plan a birthday dinner. So I had a bunch of friends and they were like, oh my gosh, yes. I had this one friend who was like, I'm going to plan it. Like, please let me plan it. And I felt really special because I was like, oh my gosh, like that's so sweet of you. Long story short, she basically ended up not planning it. I didn't make the reservation. I didn't find out until a couple days before that she hadn't made a reservation. And I was kind of panicking because, I'm always competing with Christmas parties at this time of year. So I was like worried that I wasn't going to be able to like find a reservation for all of us. I invited probably like 15 girls and only 4 of them showed up. And then the girl that offered to plan everything didn't show up. And it was kind of like, it hurt my feelings a lot. I'm not going to lie. But at the same time, like, my friend Emily, like she so came through last minute. She literally like did everything she could to make my birthday dinner so special. And like I said, I'd never usually celebrate my birthday. So like this was a big deal for me. But also the fact that like Emily went out of her way to like plan all of this. She brought flowers, like she got custom napkins, which I'm not saying like that is expected at all. Like seriously. I know I sound like the kind of person that's like, I hate my birthday. I don't hate my birthday. I love my birthday. I love celebrating. Okay, so let's just get that out of the way. But anyways, I was kind of disappointed last year, but I kept reminding myself like, just be grateful for your good friends that did show up. And I was so grateful for those girls. And it ended up being that like after dinner, my friend Delaney and her boyfriend ended up going to the restaurant where we couldn't get in because that was the one that we were originally going to have the dinner, and then the reservation never got made. So she and Mariano waited in line, and then they got us table at the bar, and then she called me up and she was like, "Hey, you guys should come over to the bar," like cuz I was at my friend's Christmas party after the dinner. And so we came over and we just played card games and had cocktails and appetizers, and it was honestly the most perfect night. So last year's birthday ended up being super, super special as well. So like I said, it's just important to remember to be grateful for the girls that did come through for me. And honestly, as far as the rest of the girls that I invited to that party, I'm not super close with any of them anymore. And I think I learned a lot about like friendship, I guess. Basically, I know a lot of people are like, oh, no new friends. I've always been the kind of person that's like, you can never have enough friends. Like everybody's welcome, that kind of vibe. And I'm still like that. Like I want to still be, I'm super open still with people. But that lesson really taught me like, there's certain people that you can depend on to come through for you. And there's certain people you can't. And it's not like it has to be this huge, big heartbreak, Basically, this one friend that had offered to play in my party, we'd only been friends for about 6 months. And so I really told myself, like, fool me once, shame on you. Like, I didn't know that you were like that. And now I know. And I made a TikTok about this probably like 6 months ago. And I was talking about like my levels of friendship theory, which I'll just run you guys through it really quick. So from this experience as well as others, I have learned that in your adult life, there are different levels of friendship. So you're not just friends with somebody or you aren't friends with somebody. And I know you're listening being like, yeah, duh, Macy, I know that. But basically there are certain people that you can only entrust with like a level 5 friendship, meaning that you like see them in passing. You can invite them to stuff, but don't expect them to show up. They're not going to remember important things, that kind of thing. Okay. Or maybe I got that mixed up. I think my level 5 friends are like my closest inner circle, and my level 1 friends are like acquaintances. Okay. So we got that switched around. Okay. So just keep that straight. So a level 1 friend is someone that honestly is not capable of giving you that deep friendship. And I used to take that super personally, but then I realized that these kinds of people are not capable of that type of friendship. You should not feel singled out when someone doesn't come through for you or flakes out or puts themselves first all the time, because like you learn, people are going to show you who they are, and you learn who these girls are. And then you're like, okay, I don't have to crash out. I don't have to get mad. I just need to know, okay, now you're downgraded from like a level 3 friend to like a level 1 friend. Like, I'll still say hi to you. Like, we'll still be at the same events sometimes, but I'm not going to keep you in my close circle. And I think my thing is like, I will put people in that inner circle, maybe not the inner circle. I've kind of learned that the hard way to protect my feelings, but I'll put you in like a level 3 or level 4 to start out until you prove me otherwise. And then I'm not going to make a big deal about it. Like, it depends on the relationship we have, but like if I feel like it's worth being like, hey, like you really hurt me, and I'll do that. But then a lot of times, especially if they're a level 1 friend and you just haven't learned about it yet, they'll get mad. They'll try to blame you. They'll be like, what do you like? They'll try to turn it on you, that kind of thing. And like I said, the big thing that I've learned, especially through that experience on my birthday last year, was that you can't expect everybody to be a level 5 friend, and you can't take it personally, especially if you haven't known them for very long, because that person is treating all of their friends like that for the most part, okay? Even if that's not true, I think that that is generally the running narrative. And I think that it's important to acknowledge that you're not being singled out a lot of the time. Sometimes you are, because girls can be really mean, but at the same time it's like, okay, well, if you're like that, then like you're not even a level 1 friend, like bye. But yeah, so with this situation, when that friend ended up not coming through for me, I didn't get mad. I didn't even call her out on it, because at that point I was like, yeah, it's just not worth it. Like I know enough about this girl now to know that she's not capable of the deep friendship that I want from my friends. And so I never said anything. I had seen her since then. I kind of she stopped inviting me to things after that, because I think that she knew she kind of messed up, but she didn't want to admit it. And then I was just like, okay, duly noted. We saw each other at a couple like mutual friend dinners, because we have a lot of mutual friends. And like I said, like I'll be friendly to her. There's nothing I don't have anything against this girl, but I think I just learned that really important lesson because I'm a certain person that loves really deeply and I feel emotions really deeply. And you guys know this because I've talked about that breakup, okay? We've talked about the crash out breakup, but I truly feel like I learned so much about myself through that process of like my ability to love, and then also how I can't expect everybody to love in the same way that I do. And that's fine, but also I deserve to only have people who love me for me and come through for me and are there for me in my level 5 friendship group, okay? So that's my inner circle, someone I would trust everything with. I deserve to only have girls like that in my level 5. And so those level 5 friends are going to get access to me in a way that your level 1 friends wouldn't. And I know I'm making it sound transactional. It's really, really not at all. It's not at all. It's just a way to protect your emotions. Like, as a highly sensitive person, it is important to understand your emotions, understand the situations that you feel really disappointed in, and learn how to compartmentalize that disappointment and make sure that you're protecting your heart and protecting your inner self. And again, the biggest mindset with that is like, this person just isn't capable of loving me in the way that I love them. So my point in telling you about the levels of friendship is, I was thinking, first of all, I was feeling very nostalgic on my birthday because last year I had friends who, despite everything, made me feel so, so loved, who came through for me. And I felt I really, really cherished them. This year, I've talked about this on here before, because you guys know I'm a Christian. My faith is really important to me. I go to church almost every single Sunday. I volunteer as a greeter there. I love my church community. My faith is just like, it's what grounds me, okay? And I've talked about that before. But if you are familiar with the Bible, if you know ball like that, there's this story in the Bible about this guy named Job. And basically in the story, Job was really faithful to God, had a lot of blessings. He had a lot of stuff. He had a lot of property. He had a lot of money. He had a huge family that loved him. And basically in the story, all of that got taken away from him. Like, his whole family died. He lost everything. He lost his land, his house, everything. And then even through that, he was still, praising God, which is crazy. And because of that, God blessed him with even more than he had before. And I am not saying that I no struggle like Job did, okay? I am so blessed. I have an amazing job, amazing jobs. This year has been incredible for me. I started this podcast, which I freaking love this podcast. Such a fun creative outlet. I've loved connecting with you guys. I started social media. I started making money off of social media, which is crazy. I literally never thought I would say that. I got my Legree certification. I started teaching Legree, which is another thing that I literally never thought I'd be doing. And I feel so blessed. But I would be lying if I said there weren't times in my life, especially in the past few years, where I have felt very, very alone. And I have incredible friends. I've made incredible friends through college, but they don't live here. And I think when you're a single person, especially navigating your late 20s, early 30s, and all of your friends are getting married, and everybody's having kids, everybody's buying houses, everybody's taking those next quote unquote steps in life, which again, we've talked about in the Decentering Men episode, how important it is to find joy and celebrate things that aren't necessarily relationship related, because that helps you decenter men. But I would be lying if I said I didn't feel a little left behind. There was a point a couple years ago where I genuinely, I'm not going to cry. I genuinely was like, I am the only single person in my entire friend group out of all of my friend groups, because I have a lot of them, like in college, in grad school, through sports, through work. I was like, I am the only single person in any of these groups. And I felt super alone. And so I prayed. I was like, God, please bring me some friends in my same phase of life. Not that I think it's super valuable to have married friends, to have friends in relationships, because I've learned a lot from my friends about relationships, about strong relationships, about communication. And so I'm really blessed that I have them, because I think it is really important. But at the same time, I just felt like it was hard, because my friends, I would tell them about what I was going through, and they would have a really hard time relating, because a lot of them have been in relationships for many years. And I think when you're in love and happy in a relationship, which is amazing, I'm so glad that all of my friends have such great partners, you kind of lose touch with what it was like to be single pretty quickly. And so it was just hard because they were trying to help me, but they really couldn't. And so I just felt really alone. And I remember praying, especially when I moved here, I had a hard time making friends just because, like, when you're not in college or grad school, it can be hard meeting people in your same life stage. And especially with what I do for work, a lot of the people I work with are quite a bit older than me and like grandparent age. And I love my coworkers, but it's not like we're like hanging out outside of work. You know what I mean? So I really struggled at first. And despite the fact that I'm an extremely social person. And so I really, really prayed about that. And then when I went through my breakup, I was forced to ask myself a lot of questions about what I was looking for in a relationship. And I kind of was confronted with the fact that I was kind of using that relationship to validate my worth in a way, which I didn't mean to. Like, I really, really loved him. And I just think that it was just something that had happened because I didn't love myself as much as I should have at the time. That being said, I am blessed to say I did love myself enough to leave that relationship pretty early on once I noticed it wasn't going to work out. But I really prayed for friendships where I had girls that I could rely on and come through for me in the way that I come through for them and love me in the way that I love my friends. And like I said, I love my long distance besties. They are incredible women. I am so blessed to have them. But through the last year specifically, but about the last year and a half since that breakup, God has blessed me with the most incredible friendships. And I think there were some growing pains associated with that. Like Exhibit A being my birthday last year. I've learned who to trust, who not to trust. And in the future, it's not like I'm not going to like have something like that happen to me again, because I don't want to be the kind of person that's really closed off and be like, no, I don't want to like give anybody a chance. Like, I want to give people the benefit of the doubt, but at the same time, like, once you show me who you are, like, I adjust accordingly. And I know that sounds like a little bit callous, but I don't mean it to be callous. I just mean it in a way that I've learned so much about myself and how to protect my emotions while still loving fully. And it has been super beneficial to me. So I wanted to talk about my birthday because not only is my birthday in December, but it is also the new year in a few days. Every year, I love to go on my little Pinterest board and like pin like my vision board. My favorite thing to do at the end of the year is look back on my vision board from either this past year or the previous years and just have so much gratitude and just like thank God for everything that he's given me. Because truly, the reason why I was so emotional about my Christmas party and so emotional about my birthday is because I had so many moments during those 2 nights where I would just look at all of my friends, and I would look at all these friends that I invited that showed up from all of my different walks of life. Girls that I met through social media, girls that I met through work, girls that I met through mutual friends, and girls that I met at school. And they're all just like laughing and hanging out together and getting along. And it was so special to me because I'm like, this is something that I prayed for, that I once thought was so unattainable. Not me crying in the club right now, that I have now. And that is not lost on me. Like, I am so grateful. And I really think, like, looking back on my journal and my vision board and all of these things from the past year and a half, I can truly say that my heart hurts for the girl that I was a year and a half ago because she was hurting so badly and she felt so alone. But at the same time, I trusted God would bring me what I prayed for. And he did. And he did abundantly, like way more than I even prayed for. And the reason why I'm telling you guys this is because, like I said, there are growing pains in friendships. There are growing pains in relationships. Even dating now, like if you guys follow me on TikTok, I posted this story time a few weeks ago. I got kind of, and I didn't get stood up, but I got kind of like played by this guy. I'm not going to go into it because it's not that big of a deal, but I had gone on a couple days with this guy and he basically invited me and 2 other girls on the same date and then ghosted me. And it was just weird. So I posted a story time on TikTok. And it didn't go like viral, but it's like one of my most viewed videos in like the last couple months. So I was like, oh, shoot. And this guy's not on TikTok, but I feel like he's maybe seen it by now, but I'll never know because he's blocked. Anyways, there are still growing pains. I'm still trying to figure things out. But if there's one thing that I've learned from the last year, it is that if you pray for something and then you live as if God is going to give it to you, okay, it's not one of those things that's like, oh, I don't know if it's going to happen. Like in my mind, I was like, God is going to bring me those relationships that I'm praying for. If I lead with my heart forward, if I become the kind of friend that I want in my life, if I lead with example with that, I know that God will bring those girls into my life. And he did. Like he really, really did. And so that was just why those like things were so emotional. Like I would have never thought that I would have 11 girls in my tiny little apartment decorating Christmas cookies together, or that we'd be, playing this board game together, because I shot content for Exploding Kittens during that party and everybody was like such a good sport about it and we had so much fun. Like I never thought that all of these things would have happened this year. And so sometimes I get frustrated because I'm like, but I'm not like making progress in these areas like I thought I should. Like, why don't I have this paper published yet? Or like, why don't I have, these other relationships yet that I've been praying for? But at the same time, like, I just really have to look back on this last year and look back at all of the blessings God has given me and all of the ways that he has come through, even more so than I thought. Like I told you guys, I never thought I'd be making money off of social media in 2025. I never thought that I would be having TikToks go viral. I never thought that I would start a podcast that would win an award from Spotify. Like I never thought any of those things would happen. And here we are. So I really wanted to record this episode, obviously to give you guys a little Christmas haul. Because like, here's the thing too, like this hockey stick, I'm going to bring it back into the frame. This hockey stick, I'm telling you, it's symbolic. Like I said earlier, now you know the reason why this hockey stick, this sounds so stupid. The reason why this hockey stick means so much to me, it's not because it's from sleeves, okay? Because that's so fun and it's like such a funny inside joke between me and the girls. But it's more about the fact that I felt so loved and seen by my friend and that she would go through all of those things to get this hockey stick for me. I was just like, that is crazy. Love you. I feel so blessed to have all of these girls in my life. And so, yeah, looking forward to 2026. I want to lead with that same energy. I want to lead with putting myself out there, because what I've learned is that if you pray for something and you live in hopeful expectation and you put yourself out there, so it's not like you're just sitting around, you have to like put yourself out there, not just once, but again and again and again, and be ready for rejection, but also be ready for the blessings that are going to come from that. Even if it's not in the way that you thought, even if this group of friends that you thought were going to be your answer to prayer last birthday ended up not being in your life anymore, like that just cleared the way for the right people to be there. And girl, like, I don't know. I know this kind of turned into a sermon, but like, I'm so glad that I got to like I get to tell you guys about my faith, because it's like, it's so cool. And even if you don't believe in God, like, I really want you to put what you want out there and live with the expectation that it's going to happen. Obviously for me, I pray, I read my Bible, and I walk with the faith that I know that that's going to happen. Like with Job, like this is so extreme, but the story in the Bible, like Job didn't have anything and he still trusted God, and doing that made God bless him more than he ever could imagine. And that's truly how I feel right now. I just feel so blessed to have all these things. And I'm also, at the same time, it's like, I think it's cool to be content, but it's also like, I want to see where all of this goes. Like, I want to keep putting myself out there. I want to keep putting myself out there for new experiences. You guys know my contract is up at the university in about a year and a half. So after that, I'm going to have to find a new job. I don't know what that looks like. I really have no idea. But I know that if I keep working hard, putting my nose to the grindstone, but also taking time to stop and be grateful for everything I have, that the right thing will arise. God will put me exactly where I'm supposed to be. And I'm telling you guys this, but I'm also kind of recording this as a reminder to myself to just trust God, trust the process, and truly everything will work out. So looking forward to 2026. I want to hear what your guys' New Year's resolutions are, but more like what you're looking forward to. My resolution for 2026 is to keep boldly putting myself out there. And yeah, so I want to hear about what your guys' New Year's resolutions are. How are you planning to, I guess, level up, but also just like put yourself out there, walk in faith, and live in hopeful expectation that your prayers or what you want will come to you? I want to know. But yeah, I just want to encourage you guys. Like, if you feel alone right now, or if you're feeling bad about something, how can you, live in hopeful expectation that what you want will be given to you? And just live expecting that. Megan and I were talking about the month of December. Megan is Catholic, so we talk a lot about our faith together, which is really cool that we get to do that. And she was talking about the season of Advent, which, if you're not familiar, Advent is like the month of December when we basically have like every Sunday we have like an Advent wreath, and so you light a candle in the wreath and read a passage from the Bible talking about how everybody was living in hopeful expectation for the coming of Jesus. And so then December 25th is when we celebrate the birth of Jesus, and so that's like all leading up to that. So we talk about Advent as in a season of hopeful expectation. And so I think that it's really cool that I'm born in December, so I get to celebrate my birthday, look back on the year, and then also celebrate a new year, as well as celebrate Christmas, because I think it's really, Advent is really, you know, symbolic of this phase in our lives. I was talking with Megan about this. She feels the same way. And so she told me that she was praying and that she really felt in her heart like God was telling her, like, live this time right now as if it were December 1st. Like, you're super excited for Christmas. You know that something is really good is happening soon at the end of the month, but it's not here yet. How can you enjoy the season while you're waiting? How can you live in hopeful expectation? And so whatever you're waiting for, whatever you're praying for, live this season as if it were December 1st. So with that, I'm going to let you guys go. I need to eat. I haven't eaten yet. And then I need to do my skincare and go to bed because, girl, it is after 10 and we have a 6 a.m. Legree class tomorrow morning. Not teaching, taking, thankfully. But I have to go. So I love you guys. I'm so happy I got to talk to you today, and I can't wait to talk to you in the next episode. Bye.